Good afternoon to 23/5/6/2017 people. This is what I was kind of working on, but while I was watching ID a little while ago, sipping my coffee, it came to me that they need to stop it with the attempt to reintegrate John's daughter and ourselves. It may come as a shock to them, but we don't want her. I am speaking on behalf of my spouse. I have durable power of attorney. We don't want her. He only took her because her mother called and requested that we take her, and she didn't give us a warning. As I'd mentioned in a couple other videos, she didn't warn us that her daughter was a deviant, and she had pre-knowledge of that, and we had a child in the home, so she had grown tired of the kids and just really wanted a place to farm them out to. So he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. And we planned for a pickup time to go and get them. Her brother wasn't the problem. Her brother wasn't bad. Her brother didn't act out. He didn't try to push me over the stairs. He wasn't caught by my mother spraying the 409 on the salad. It was her. So, no, we don't want reintegrated. And another thing about that is, when he called to get help, thinking that because they were county qualified or whatever you call it up there in Iowa, that would be the better deal for her, since she already kind of had an idea of the workings of that. Like the different individuals, she would have had to get to know the different people, but the workings of it hopefully would have been pretty much the same. Wouldn't you think so? From county to county, does it actually vary that much? Because a lot of people have had to go through that stuff, and maybe they would know whether or not it is that hard, except for getting to know the people again on your case. Well, they're all like, no, So, okay, he got her the therapy, as you know, as some of you know, excuse me, out of pocket, his own money. So, for one thing, I don't know why she would continue to act like she thinks she has something else coming to her. We don't want to reintegrate. They refused us integration, not immigration, integration. At first, when he asked, you've got to understand this, and so sorry about coughing up a lung. Alright, it was no Mr. Myers. So, okay. For one, I didn't really want anything to do with him anyway. I already had my mind made up about them, and it wasn't anything good. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, they aren't a nice bunch of people. Or at least weren't back then. So, okay, he gets through the therapy on his own. She goes, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. The first time we were asked to be in there, the initial session, so she could tell us all three at once what went on in sessions, what was going to, what could be expected, what she could expect, and what we could expect of sessions. Okay, so we did that. Then the next couple of them, she went in alone. Alright. She's not straightened out when she made this false report against her dad. And the way she told me that day after school, after Miss Cook left, she was our neighbor lady that was there, which I mentioned yesterday, that they were just talking girlfriend and boyfriend at lunch or study hall or whatever it was. And she didn't have someone, and she didn't want to feel like, gee, you don't have one? Because she was the oldest of her class, having come from Iowa, and they found her to be a 6th grader, where Iowa, at the home school, determined that she was an 8th grader. So I guess that came as quite a shock to her too, that by Missouri standards she wasn't up to par in that regard with her capabilities or abilities. So they set her back a couple pegs. Alright. That's how I looked at it. It was just that she had been homeschooled, and maybe though, maybe her mother showed some favoritism, and that's why she showed up to be an 8th grader when she didn't have the work completed that she should have had completed. I mean, it can happen. Not saying it did. But maybe there is that much of a world of difference between Iowa and Missouri in the grading department, I don't really know. I have cousins who would know, but I haven't spoken to them for eons. Basically, eons of time since I've seen any of them. And that's kind of a good thing if you think of the reasons we normally got together, and that was for funerals. So if you base it on that, we just haven't seen each other for that long because nobody's died. Alright. So there she is. The age of an 8th grader in 6th grade. Maybe some people did get the impression that she was learning disabled because of that. It's kind of hard telling. Her mother certainly did no one any favor if she showed favoritism in the grading. Or maybe she didn't want to face her daughter because she had been terribly difficult to face and get along with at times. Like, I'm better than you make me out to be. I'm better than you. You just don't want to admit it. I'm better than you. Quit acting like you're better than me. You're not better than me. Even I'm better than me. So her mother did no favor if that's what happened, and that she slighted her own daughter by saying the grades were higher than what they were. Maybe she thought her daughter would never get off that commune, and who really would ever know? And by the time they figured it out, it'd really be a non-issue. I mean, it could have been that, couldn't it have? And I ask because I don't know. There's so many things about this whole stupid thing that I just really do not know. And I am kind of putting myself out there in that regard, trying to find out, because it would help me as well to understand this whole thing, maybe, you know? So there you have her. The 8th grade 6th grader, 8th grade 6th grader, that maybe too she just got too attitudinal for her mother to be able to do anything with. Like, oh, you are such a pill. What is making you be such a pill? Or, mother, you better give me a passing grade on that, or I'm going to cut your throat in your sleep. How about that? Or I'm going to burn this house down. How about that? So maybe her mother had to relinquish a little bit and give in, or what good's a dead person to anyone, right? She had another child to think about in that way. You know, maybe she was thinking on that line a little bit. But it doesn't excuse the fact that after they got her report, that they turned her loose back to the house. Said, bye, like, good luck. What they say, you know. When they dropped her back off at school, she got on the bus. And they knew it's gonna take her home. Take her to just right up the block there. A matter of a few yards, you know, not yardages. Well, yeah, it was yardage. You know, a few feet times 3 yards. Couldn't they even care about the children then? They're supposedly all about the children. Oh, we're just all about the children. We care so much. We care and care and care all day and night, and we're just a load of care. Until right then, when they say, well, you told us what you thought, go home, and, you know, you put up with it for 2,100 times. I guess 2,101 won't kill you. What they say, bye, see you later, thanks for the laugh. You know, curious minds want to know. And yeah, they pretty much brushed me off at this end, just like everybody else seems to delight in doing. How fair's that, right? I mean, what's another bet falsely cared for, huh? What's another bet, family? Just one more. What's one more gonna do? Kill ya? You already didn't report for 2,100 times. What's one more? And if she had been wearing a wire, I'm sure I would have found something about that in the files when I got them in 97. But I guess this is the kind of thing some people want on their headstone. I ripped these people off for their entire life.com. And everybody was proud of me while I stabbed them in the back to get my way. Thanks for listening.